Like I would always say, I so much believe in Nigeria, I so much believe in a working country, and I so much believe in the fact that we are just work in progress and it can only get better. All right, now we take a short break here. When we return, the role of women in national development cannot be overemphasized. That's why today we'll be talking about the place of the woman in national development. Our guests will be with us in the studio when we return. Don't go anywhere, please. Stay with us. We will be right back. A lot of awareness has been made by the United Nations to have a gender-based balanced society, ranging from the office environment to even the political terrain. Bringing all of this back home, here in Nigeria where we find ourselves. Despite our women excelling very well, done home and abroad, reports says that it is only 5% of Nigerian lawmakers that we have in Nigeria. That 5% of Nigerian lawmakers are women. How significant can we say their role of being in national development? In the studio with us this morning, like I said when we started the show, we have a stakeholder, a woman, a legislator. But I will not unfold her right now. Stay tuned. Watch our profile frame. All right, beautiful and intimidating CV there. Yes, she's a woman, she's an honorable member of the House of Assembly representing Amuwo Odofin Constituency 1, and also she is the House Chairman of Women Affairs, Poverty Alleviation and Job Creation. She's no other person other than Honorable Mrs. Mojisola Oluwa Kehinde Ali Makot. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
And Happy New Year.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning. And welcome back home.
Yeah,
yes, good to mention that
Yes.
she's a bona fide media woman.
Thank you. This is homecoming for me.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, behind the scene, it's I'm having a rush of nostalgic feelings.
That's right.
This used to be our studio back then.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Probably we need to put this, properly place this, that she was a presenter here
Yes,
in NCA2.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's good to see how far she's done well for herself. She's making marks. And,
Thank you.
we can only say that it can only get better.
Yeah,
By
sure.
the grace of
By
God.
God's grace.
Yes. So I actually went through your profile and I see that you actually did not get there You know, it was not an automatic thing. It was a process, you know. It was from one level to the other, one level to the other. I want to start from there. As a woman, how has it been? Being in the political terrain.
You can see me adjusting myself. It's been a journey, like you already know. And it starts from preparedness as a woman. You have to be prepared. Even when you want to go out as a woman, you have to really prepare yourself. If you want to cook a meal, you have to be very well prepared with your ingredients. So I'm going to liken that to the process of you joining politics as a woman. You have to be prepared. And it starts from the 5 points that I always, give out. When women approach me and then they tell me that they want to go into politics, first I tell them to get the blessings of their husbands. You have to get the blessing of your husband if you want to be successful. Or your partner or your soulmate, have a support system. It's not going to be a jolly ride. You have to have somebody to support you. You must have your emotional balance, you must have your emotional intelligence in check. You have to have a very strong sense of empathy because you're going to come across all shades of people. You must get education. Keep learning. Get as many degrees as you can. Being well informed. Be exposed. Have awareness about almost everything around you. And finally, you must be genuine. Have a purpose. Start with your community. No matter how little, contribute to the development of your community. Be known for it. Make your voice, heard. Be seen, be visible. Let people know you. You don't even have to ask for anything. When the time comes, they will come to you. So that's what I usually tell my fellow women. If you want to be in politics, go and do all those 5 assignments, and then you come back and tell me what your experience is like.
Okay, so having done all of these and finding yourself in the position you find yourself, that's and right. You still intend going back, so how has it been working with, knowing the peculiarity? Yes, in the Western world, it might be choking fine, but it might not be as bad as, here in Africa, where we find ourselves. How has it been, working with men in the political, world?
It's been very interesting. You meet, I would say that I've been very lucky because my husband has been very supportive, and every time I have some dealings with people, especially men like you've asked me, I go back home and I talk to my husband about it. You're a man. Can you advise me on how to deal with these people and this kind of things, this kind of situation? And then he gives me his own opinion, and he allows me to make up my mind. And the reason why I said that I've been very lucky is because the colleagues, the kind of colleagues that I have at the House of Assembly have been very supportive. I would start with the national leader of my party, to the governor himself, and then to the Right Honourable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. I could remember when we came in 2019, I went to meet with, I had a chat with my speaker, Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, and he said to me, I asked him if I want to be successful in the House of Assembly, what are the things that I need to do, and what are the things that I need to know. And he told me that the first thing you need to do is to understand the workings of the House, the dictates of the House. And then from there, you have to work 3 times harder to get your voice heard, to be seen, and you drive home your point.
To make impact.
To make impact. Make it very swift, because the time starts now. And that's what he told me. And every time I had questions about, legislature, of course I started as a councillor, but at this time I realized that I didn't have much time. And then, of course, it's a higher definition of legislature from being a councillor and then at the higher upper chamber at the House of Assembly. So I knew I needed to up my game. I knew I needed more energy, and I needed to make my voice heard. So all of this, made me, to come out with all the energies. And that's why today, I think I'm grateful to God Almighty. So working with men, for me, I've been very lucky. Some women may not be lucky. But what I think women should do when they find themselves in this situation is to try to get close to these men. Don't be afraid of them. Women should learn to be fearless. You have to get but first make sure that your integrity is not traded for anything. Because, of course, you will have moments of temptation, you will have moments of despair, moments of frustration will come. Because it's not always, a jolly ride. Even with my colleague at the House of Assembly, sometimes we have arguments, and then we have a conflict resolution mechanism in place at the House of Assembly. We go into our parliamentary, and then we settle all disputes. That's why you don't get to hear of banter among we colleagues at the House of Assembly. It's really very, very strong. We have this very strong bond. So women should learn to work with their male counterparts. They are not, they are human beings, I want to say. So just use your wimp as a woman, and,
use it in a positive way.
We are actually the real politicians. Women are actually so you must learn to actually twist them around your little finger and get it done.
Okay, before I allow KZ, let me just say something.
You can be sure that I refuse to be twisted this morning.
You will be twisted eventually.
Okay, let's go into national development now. Presently, the present, the forthcoming election. At present, we have only 7.3%. That's 8 out of 109 of Nigerian senators that are women, while only 3.6% of the House of Assembly, House of Representatives are women. And I can go on and bring it down the ladder. We can see that this is just a very little minimum.
Drop in the ocean.
Yes. What can you say, with all of the awareness, coming right from the UN to Africa to Nigeria, and we can see that in the recent times, Nigerian women are speaking, and they are also taking action. Why are we still here?
Well, I have taken my time to study the factors that may be causing all of this, this poor ratings or involvement of women in the polity process, and I came to read the realization that even the society, it starts from the society, where we've been placed, and the glass ceiling placed on women. It starts from when you come out and give your make the announcement that you want to run for office as a woman, and all the battles, the hurdles that you would have to face in the face of the society. It starts also with some women who have been unfortunate with their spouses, not giving them the opportunity to come out and, participate in politics. And then also the political system that we have in Nigeria, the political party system, it's sometimes difficult for women to actually to obtain the tickets to run for office. I want to commend Senator Bunani, and I want to wish her all the best as the first female gubernatorial candidate, to run for that very magnitude, magnified office. So I hope that she comes victorious, and this will be a landmark achievement for women across the country and across Africa, to have that groundbreaking news that, a woman eventually emerges as the first governor of the state. So, there are so many factors also militating. Some women don't even speak up. So you don't actually find a solution to problems that you can't decipher. So the political system in Nigeria, it's really turbulent. Some women don't even have the energy for it. So it's easier said than done. They come out and speak, but when it's the action, to actually put the action in motion, they don't have the energy. Some women, once you assault them verbally, they drop and then they go back. And I'm so impressed now that I get to see a lot of women groups emerging, women supporting, more women now supporting women. I see women actually, fighting, getting more informed, getting more aware. Some women even go back to the university these days to get more degrees so that they can have rich CVs. I'm really, really impressed about that compared to the last decade. So it's evolving, it's a progression. And I hope that after 2023 general elections, by 2027, more women will emerge. Because I see this 2023 elections as a litmus paper. A lot of women are using it as their guinea pigs to see
test the
water and see the dimension of impact on women, and then how the government of 2023 would involve more women, put women in leadership positions. So from there, women will use it as launchpad, come 2027 elections. So I'm sure we would get there. We just need to be more resilient.
You wanted to say something, Keze?
All right,
let's not make it women thing.
That's been very, very, very interesting so far. I've been watching, just listening to you keenly. Anytime I see women in politics and national development talk the way you talk, I cannot but doff my heart for them.
Thank you.
Why? Because, different roles that you play. Talking about national development. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a community leader. You are out there also, projecting women. I begin to wonder, for you, let's use you now as an example for many other women. How do you juggle all of this together, yet you're still able to make impact at the state level?
It's a sense of responsibility that I have. When a woman is in office, she's not the only one there. She's representing at least 9 other women in that office, because whatever you do determines the position of the other 9 women. So if you're successful, you have already created a pathway to success for more women to come in.
That's it.
And if you fail, you have failed 9 women. So I have that sense of responsibility to my fellow women, to the women folk. I know that I must not fail. I know that I'm a role model to a lot of people. I know that women are saying, if Mojisola could do it, then I can do it.
That's it.
So I know that I have to be able to balance. It's not easy, but with a deep sense of determination, you can do it. I know that I have to not make my husband regret that he has allowed me to go out there and lend my voice and be part of the polity. My children must not suffer attention from me. And I have to go back to school. I just got a degree in law, and I just, got my call to bar at the law school.
Wow.
Congratulations.
I know that I have to deliver as a legislator at the Lagos State House of Assembly. I must not disappoint the national leader who has given me the chance to run for office. I must not let my leaders down. Then my community that gave me over 7,000 votes, I have to prove a point to them. So all of this married into one, with God on my side, because I'm a very prayerful person. So once I can do the physical, I know that I have to balance with the spiritual. So all of this has helped me. And then, of course, I know that everything you have as a person is not just because you want it. It's a blessing. I will not take it for granted. So everything I have, all of this, the family, the work, school, study, the community, all of these are blessings that I must not take for granted. And that's what has kept me going.
Okay, interesting, Honorable. Yes, talking about not failing at the home front as well as in the national development. There's no way we talk about women contributing to national development that we're not going to look at their roles from the home. I mean, that's where it all starts anyway.
Yes.
Yes, so it is often said that no women, no nation. Well, that we agree with totally, absolutely, I must say. But some have also opined that many of the ills in the society today is because many women have jettisoned their ordained role of building and nurturing for something else. That's why we have many of the ills we have in the society. Do you share that sentiment?
Well, it's not completely so. It's we must look at the society we have now. It's different from the time of you and I growing up. There's a lot of more awareness. The social media has not done, made a lot of difference in our societal, the way the society is right now. And you can see that the economy is also very unfriendly to a lot of parents. And I feel strongly that what the parents are trying to do is not to actually, leave their children their responsibilities to their children, but it's actually trying to balance being providers for them. They may not have enough time to actually give them as they would have. So it's between trying to strike a balance between providing adequately for the family and also surviving as a parent. So it's really very different from how it used to be. So the economic factor also comes to play in this matter. So what I think I'll just say is that parents should not, no matter what it is, neglect their responsibility to the children, and they should be responsible parents as well. Of course, we all know that charity begins at home.
Okay. Anyway, parenting is not only the woman. Anyway, if I can say that.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be a joint venture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm bringing it back to the national development angle. We realize that it is often said that women really do not support women. Well, how true is that? And because you are there, you've been there, you're still there, and you still intend to be there. How true is this? And if really this is true, at least it will be good to hear from the horse's mouth what really it is. And if it is true, what do you think can be done differently?
Well, from the time I started politics over 10 years ago, and now, there's a lot of changes.
Okay.
Because when I started, of course, my worst antagonist then, over 12 years ago, was a woman. And now, what we see is that we have more women emerging to support their fellow women.
Wow.
I see a lot of women groups now.
That's beautiful.
Evolving women in politics and UN women. I see also so many, NGOs springing up in support of their fellow women. It's different now because I think more women have come to the realization that they have to, stick with one voice. When women fight each other, the men are happy. They're happy. It's actually the yardstick for division among women. So I think women are now aware. So any woman that is not supporting her fellow woman, we have left her behind. She's on her own.
That's good.
We've moved away from that point. Yeah, she's alone because we've moved,
Honorable,
forward.
I was just smiling. We see how this will play out, in the coming
No, but she's saying she's saying that it's playing out already. It might not be 100%.
Don't worry. The outcome of the elections, the outcome of the coming election will say, I agree whether or not what Honorable is saying. Because the truth is that, just like I said earlier, at the beginning of the show, that on the elections, you look at the number of women on the queue, there to vote, to exercise their franchise. But somehow it doesn't translate to giving a upper hand to the women candidates who are there. We have seen that over time. So when you were talking, I was smiling that after 23 elections, February, we'll see how all of this will play out. But let's just take it further. You are the chairman of the Chairman House Committee on Women Affairs, Poverty Alleviation, and Job Creation at the Lagos State House of Assembly. Now, share with us some other ways that, share with us, start with how you have been making impact through that committee that you chair, and what other ways that women are also making impact in national development?
Thank you very much. It's a very sensitive committee, and I want to thank the governor, Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who's been the he-for-she governor. He gives adequate support to my committee. I must thank him for giving us that budget to be able to impact to be able to impact a lot of women in Lagos State. We have a budget that seeks to empower women. Now we even empower men as well, because we understand that poverty is not restricted to just women.
Yeah.
Men are also impoverished at some point in their lives. So we have so many programs that I chair, I oversee. And of course, you know that the commissioner or the ministry reverts to me after every obligation of the committee. So we look into what we can do to empower women. And then on my part as a lawmaker, we have come up with a lot of bills. We've done, I came up with a bill that has now become a law. The domestic violence, and then the establishment of the sex offenders register, which is now, we now have the domestic violence and response team. They have the agency as well. So women don't have to, after being the survivors of rape cases, do not have to go to a police station anymore. They just go straight to the agency and they get respite, they get medical attention, and they're given shelter. They're provided for, and then they are, and if they need any pro bono support, they give them legal support as well. So this was one of my initiative, my brainchild at the House of Assembly. And we've also come up with a lot of bills that support women. Currently, I'm working on something that deals with cervical cancer. It's only women, when women are in leadership positions, that can talk about issues affecting her fellow women. I have not seen, where men would talk about, issues affecting women. So it is me being, the female lawmaker that would be able to understand and interpret the problems of the women on the floor of the House. We've tried to impact over more than 15,000 women since I came in as the chairman House Committee of Women and Poverty Alleviation in Lagos State House of Assembly since I think 2020, and we're still moving on, and we hope that we'll do more before we leave office.
All right. Good
I must
job.
say, well done.
Yeah, good job you're doing that. It's just important that we hear some of the things that you do at the Lagos State House of Assembly. Yes, we will be winding down this discussion. But, I'd like you to also give your parting word to the women out there.
No, but before she gives her parting words, just in about 10-15 seconds, I would like you to say, because everybody wants to have someone to, I can
lean on.
No, really, like a successor, so to speak. So personally, what are your efforts in making sure that women continue to move up the ladder when it comes to occupying places of decision making? Might not really be in the political world. There are 1,001 ways women can, add to national development. Maybe in the political world, in the official, in the office environment, in the different terrains. What are you doing to have several women succeeding you?
Yeah, we looked at mentorship. A lot of young women these days, they're not really keen about politics. A lot of young women don't come and say they want to be politicians. They have their own thing that they want to do. But however be the case, I always tell women, like I mentioned the 5 points that I mentioned earlier at Ab Initio, they should never be afraid. Women should refuse to be fearful.
Well,
they must be educated.
Honorable, we have to really wind down.
Yes.
But I just want you to just a parting word for the women as we move forward to the election.
I'm going to say that women should come out strongly and vote and let their voices be heard and be part of this process so that they would remember us when they're coming into office. And women should not also give up. We will get there, and it's just a step away.
All right. Thank you so much. She has said it all. Women should never give up. We've been talking to Honorable Mrs. Mojisola Oluwa Ali Macaulay. She is an honorable member of the House of Assembly representing Amuwo of a constituency 1. Thank you so much for being our guest this morning.
Thank you.
And I would say that she's an alumni of this studio. All right, sir. Right now, well, so many things happening in the sporting world.